Hi, I'm Joshua Lusk, and I'm answering the question, what are some of the best ways that we can support our teachers, and what are some of the best ways that we can advocate properly for our students? And I think the most important thing that we deal with as administrators is making sure that we have really good communication with our staff. One of the issues that I find on the campus where I currently teach is that our staff members are often like lost in what the actual expectations, the things that are required of them in certain activities aren't really clear, and that creates unnecessarily negative feelings about the administrator, the campus, the way that things are going in the year. If a teacher is unsuccessful in an endeavor because they didn't really know what they were supposed to do, that can create issues that are completely avoidable. And so communication is really important. And the second part of communication, though, isn't just expressing what our expectations as administrators are, but it's also taking the feedback from our teachers, sometimes negative, sometimes positive, but making sure that we're placing real value in that information and doing the things that we can to incorporate that into our thoughts and our ideas and our planning. Especially those teachers that are experienced, hardworking, been in the school system for a long time. These teachers have a lot to say and probably have some really good ideas about how to improve. Also, they probably know the staff better than we do as administrators and can offer insight that we might not see. I think it's really important in supporting our staff to make sure that we're offering timely praise. If there are things going on that someone does well, it's important to let them know that that's something that you see, that you, as an administrator, understand and appreciate. It's also important to offer teachers constructive criticism. So not just, maybe let's work on this, but here's an issue that I saw in your classroom when I was doing a walkthrough the other day. Here's a couple of ideas. Maybe we could do this. What do you think? And have an open dialogue about ways that teachers can really improve. And that's a communication issue. I think it's also really important for administrators to take responsibility for every measure that happens in that school building. As being the last line of defense, we need to support our teachers. We need to lift them up. We need to make sure that they feel like we are on their side as we advocate for students and all that. And that we don't drown teachers with expectations that are out of reach. We need to make sure that we temper those things. As we're responsible for the campus, so are the teachers, and they want to do their best to achieve and meet expectations. So give them a few things at a time to work on, or one or two things, and not, here's the 15 things that I see that maybe aren't so great. As far as being advocates for students, we need to make sure that we fight for equal opportunities for every student who comes on campus, whether they're GT, high achievers, ESL, SPED students, that they have the resources they need and the time that they need and the effort from our staff to achieve the goals that they have as students. I think it's also important to treat all students with the utmost respect. We all have difficult students. We all have favorites. But the students shouldn't know that we have those types of attitudes and that all the students have an equal chance to be respected, to be cared for, and ultimately feel good about their own educational experience. Being positive is such a key part of making sure that we connect with our students in great ways. And being an advocate is, we can be better advocates if we know our kids. I had a student a few years back on my basketball team who I was only critiquing. I was only giving him, work on this and work on this and work on this. And finally I realized that I hadn't really complimented him. So I walked up to him one day, and his demeanor had been kind of defeatist. And I said, Henry, I just want you to know, I think you're a really fantastic basketball player. And the reason that I critique you is because I just assume that you know that you're really good. And I'm probably wrong about that maybe you don't know that you're a pretty fantastic basketball player. And the way that he walked around the practice facility after that, still taking the criticism really well, but all of a sudden you could tell that confidence just rose. And the same thing works as we're being advocates for our student. If we give them positive feedback and we work with them, in positive ways, their confidence grows, and we're able to have a dialogue with them to help find out what they need to help them achieve. There's some natural things, proper staffing, working with the budget, keeping high expectations for teachers and students and staff, and, working with the community. But I think there's one area as far as advocating for students that maybe gets lost, and that's making sure that we're up on what laws are going through the state, and where these laws may be positive and sometimes negatively affect student achievement and student goals, and making sure that we're up to date as administrators on these things so that we can both fight for things that are really good and fight against things that maybe aren't student-centered and aren't about the best educational opportunities for our kids. Those are my thoughts on supporting staff and advocating for our students, and I look forward to doing another one of these again soon. Thank you.